Teresa, after reading on My Voice about Kids Help Phone, I had some questions as a parent. I was wondering, first of all, how does the average call work?
So when somebody texts hello to 686868 from anywhere in Canada, they'll get an automatic greeting letting them know that a crisis responder is going to be with them shortly. In the meantime, they can always start their message maybe to get out what they want to talk about. And that way it's already in the system so that when a crisis responder picks up the texting service, they'll see ahead of time what the texter might want to talk about.
So you've been talking about crisis. What kinds of issues come up usually on the Kids Help Phone text line?
There are quite a few. It really varies, but most of the time it's stress, trying to be perfect for everyone, that they see themselves as failures in other people's eyes, trouble keeping up with their grades, losing friends, and maybe they don't understand why, that they're suddenly being ignored by their friends. Isolation and loneliness is a really big one, suddenly feeling alone, don't have anyone in the world to talk to. Relationship issues, whether that's with boyfriend, girlfriend, or family relationships, bullying in person and online through social media.
Okay, so as you know, I'm a parent, and I'm a little bit freaked out about my kid texting a stranger, even if they work at or volunteer at Kids Help Phone. What would you tell me to make me feel less nervous?
It's completely normal to be nervous that your child or youth might be reaching out to a stranger. Um, that's fine. It's great to be nervous. So my number one tip is to test it out yourself. Text the line. Let them know that you're a concerned parent that might think your youth may use the line. Ask them what you might say. Ask them what might be the response that your child receives on the other end. So it's not always heavy topics that we get as well. Sometimes they just need to say something out loud, or in this case, text it, write it out, and get some, just feedback on what they have to say. And it's kind of like a dry run, a practice run to be able to say it maybe out loud for the first time, and then be more comfortable saying it to a parent.
What are some of the resources that you often refer to when a kid is texting you?
95% of the resources we refer to are available on the Kids Help Phone website. So anybody can go on there and do a search, keyword search for relationships, and it will pull up videos, articles, um, sometimes exercises that people can do. They consist of calming exercises and apps, grounding exercises to, just set yourself back to a starting point, reading material. When it's age appropriate, there are forums and letter writing exercises. We also refer them always, of course, back to their parents if they can, school counselors or peer counselors. There's a great app on the website called Resources Around Me, and this is something that we can guide them through or leave them to look at on their own. And this helps find free resources right in their own neighborhood. We encourage a lot of self-care and, of course, to always go back to friends and family.
One thing I've been thinking about as you've been talking is I'm worried if my kid is talking to you, how do I know what's going on with them? I don't want to find out after the fact that they're struggling.
That's a great question. As parents, we want to help our kids as much as possible, including protecting them from difficult situations. Kids Help Phone, any service, definitely does not replace the relationship with you, the parent. It's an additional resource for your kids to access if and when they need it. We often suggest to kids that they speak to their parents about the things they bring up and coach them through doing that. If it's too tricky to talk about or they can't find the right words, sometimes we suggest they start by showing their parents what they wrote to Kids Help Phone. And one of the funny things about opening up is that the more you do it, the easier it gets. So by providing a safe space for kids to open up, we're trying to make it easier for those same kids to open up in their lives to those who care about them, like their parents.